Hi everyone, it is Nat, and I am so excited for today's video. I'm going to be showing you guys some tips and tricks on how to maximize your reading while studying abroad, or just how to read more in general while you're in another country. This last semester I studied abroad in Australia for a little over 4 months, and sometimes it can just get more hard to read while you're studying abroad than it can be at home. I mean, there's so many new things going on while you're studying abroad, and so many new friends to hang out with, so many new experiences to have that, at least for me, sometimes you can easily forget about reading, or it can just kind of fall by the wayside. So I've come up with a few tips and tricks that I used while I was in Australia to help me read more, but also to not experience Australia. I feel like these tips gives you a good mix between doing what you love and reading, and also not forgetting that you are in another country and you should be experiencing that as much as you can. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So tip number 1 is to read on bus rides. If you're studying abroad, chances are you're not going to have a car, so you're going to have to take a bus quite a few places if you really want to go anywhere that's further than walking distance. For me, I would go to the beach a lot, and the beach is about a 20-minute bus ride or so from my school to the beach. So that's 40 minutes round trip where I was already going to do something anyways, so I just gained 40 minutes of reading time. The next tip is a pretty obvious one, and that's just to read while you're traveling. Whether you're taking like a bus or a plane or a Greyhound bus or a boat or a ferry, or really just anything to get you from one destination to another. I mean, this kind of goes along with the last one, but these can be, like, when you're traveling to places, it can get really boring, and a lot of times, especially if you're flying, it takes a million years, and yeah, it's just really boring. And reading gives you not only a way to pass the time, but you can also fit in more reading while you're traveling. And I mean, if you're reading while you're traveling, you're obviously not missing out because you're going to go do something. So yeah, that's probably, I got some of the most of my reading done while like waiting for planes, or on a plane, or on a Greyhound bus. Yeah, really good time to squeeze in some reading. Another great place to fit in some more reading is to just read a few minutes or so right before you would go to bed. I know a lot of times I would feel kind of guilty staying in and reading because I don't want to go hang out with friends, or I just feel bad for not making the most of my abroad experience by staying in and reading. And I mean, that's kind of flawed thinking, but I thought it was great if you just read like even a half hour before bed. It's not like if you're going to bed in a half hour anyways, it's not like you can go do something else. So that's a really good time, at least for me, to have some guilt-free reading, especially while studying abroad. So my last tip for you guys is my favorite one, and that is to go out into your host country and read. Since I was in Australia, I did a lot of my reading either at the beach or at the pool, because it's really hot there and you want to be around water, you want to be able to cool down. So I'd just be, reading there, working on my tan, and then I could just like go jump in the water if I got too hot. But I think this is such a great thing because you're able to go out into your host country and experience it and be around the culture and like the environment that is your host country, while still being able to read. And I know for me, I was in Australia, it's hot, pool and beach are good for me, but I was even thinking if you're in like more of a rainy place, you could just go to a park and like bring an umbrella or something and just sit in a park. You could get bundled up and just really go find anywhere, at least outside, and that way you're not just stuck in your room, you're still outside, you're still living in that culture and experiencing things that you can't at home while still reading. And I don't know, I thought that was a great thing. I really enjoyed doing that, like just going to the beach and reading instead of just staying in your room, because it's still a unique experience to that home or to that host country that you're in. Alright, so I think that is it for my video. Of course, there's nothing wrong with staying in and reading. Lord knows I have done that a million times, even while studying abroad. I stayed in a lot. I just know that sometimes I would feel guilty staying in and not going out and being just in my host country. So I hope that these tips kind of help you guys, and for any of you that are studying abroad or in the future are planning on studying abroad, just to not feel really any guilt. I mean, even if you don't feel guilt's like kind of a strong word, but I don't know, I just think it's great to not just sit in your room and read, because reading can be kind of like a singular activity. So I just think it's great to use all these things so that you can still have the absolute greatest experience in your host country, and also still read a whole lot. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and if you are studying abroad or plan to study abroad, go ahead and leave down below what country you're going to. I would love to hear. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!